That's what I feel. What do you feel?
In terms of what? How long it's gonna be?
Yeah.
So I agree with the notion. But for me, I think marriage serves a very strong purpose in our society. Like it gives people comfort. And I think at the core aspect of that, you keep making these facial expressions. At the core aspect of that, I think is like a need for connection and security. So like, I don't think that's changed anytime soon. I think if anything, that's getting worse because of the internet, texting, all that stuff, right? Yeah. But I don't think marriage is gonna go away. I think more and more people will start going to smaller cities. I think that's how it'll start. So I actually think maybe we'll go back to more of a form of tribalism, where it's like towns, instead of like these mega cities. And I think the way we live and travel will be much more like hunter and gatherer. And I think at that point, marriage might go out the window. But I think it's going to take a while.
Do you really think people are going to move to smaller cities and
100%.
And urbanization is going to come down?
Yeah.
I beg to differ. I don't think urbanization
is we're going to have this podcast again in like 20 years and see.
Oh my God.
I think you're thinking about from like, maybe I'm wrong, from a self-improvement standpoint or maybe like an economical standpoint. I'm thinking of from like an ecological and behavioral standpoint.
But that's only people like you. That's only this percentage of the people who think like that. I think everybody else wants to move to bigger cities, wants a better living, wants a beautiful city, wants infrastructure, wants...
I absolutely agree. And I think that's the second part for me was just like, I just don't think that's sustainable. Like, I just don't think they're going to have that choice.
It's so difficult. I don't think anyone cares about that anymore.
But a combination of global warming, a combination of these like pandemics, whatever it is, people are just like, it's already happening in like LA and New York. People who can afford it, you're absolutely right. Like for a select few who can afford moving from LA to Denver or wherever and have a great lifestyle. Very few, yes. But it's happening.
But the beauty and the attraction of moving to a big city and a city with great infrastructure will always lure people to come to big cities than move to smaller cities. That's what I
don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
And the dream of making more money is always there in the bigger cities. So I think urbanization is not going anywhere. And people know this from a long time that that this has been happening, epidemics.
But don't you think there's like a limit? Like, don't you think we're like 30 million, 40 million now? Like, that's a lot of fucking people. You know what I mean? Like, don't you think that there's we're just gonna grow like 200 million cities? Like, one day in the future, Suzhou, Shanghai, Hangzhou will always be one city?
I think it's only money. From what I understand, it's people have become so blinded now these days. Okay. It's only about money. I tell you,
I agree.
It's so much about money that today people don't care about what they are contributing towards the environment. People don't care. Nothing.
I think that's changing. You don't think that's changing?
Not at all.
So you think by the time your kids will be our age, it'll be worse?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to be terrible.
The Earth isn't going to be able to sustain that. Like, you understand that scientifically speaking, there's a limit. We might not hit it yet. It might be 300 years, might be 30 years. I don't know, right? Could be tomorrow for all we know. But at this pace, it's going to happen. I think that's inarguable, right? At the worst case, we have an ice age.
So the thing is, basically, it will deteriorate till a certain point.
Right. This is what I'm asking.
So what I'm saying is it will keep deteriorating till mankind realizes that, it's at the last stage, and then they're going to run helter-skelter to do something about it. But I think by then it'll be too late.
Okay, so we agree on the concept. We just disagree on the timeline.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Because I think we're going to do nothing about it.
I think that's now.
No.
Nothing.
No? They're going to do nothing. They're going to just go on with their life as it is. They will just talk people. Because everyone, you see the big politicians who are supposed to do something about it, don't care a shit about it. Because all they care about is making money and I think it's only a very small sector of the society which actually cares about it. And the rest of the people don't care about it.
And I think even a smaller part from people who care about it are the people who actually do something about it. Right? Like that percentage is even smaller from there.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a smaller percentage who wants to do something about it also. Yeah. For example, you and me probably would care about it, but I wouldn't bother to do something
Right,
about it, right?
right.
Because you are so engrossed in your own life. You're like, oh, what can I do? I'm just one person, you know?
Yeah.
So I think this is contributing towards.
I hope you're right. I really do. Because that means that I don't have to deal with it in my life, right? Selfishly. You know?